Sir, we have seemed to have found a very poorly photoshopped boat in the water. It's a pontoon boat. Should we go talk to them? Of course, let's go. Let's go talk to them and see what's going on. Oh man, I sure love going fishing out here with my son. We're having a great time out here on Lake Michigan. Got a few fish. It's really, really good. Oh, jeez. Here comes the Coast Guard. Don't worry, son. I got this under control. Hey, what are you guys up to? Oh, well, we're just social distancing, and me and my son here, we're going fishing. Well, is that a motor on your boat? You know under the new governor's guidelines, you can't have that. Wait, really? Well, what about that guy over there? He's fishing. Heyo! Sir, that is a kayak. You can use that. Wow, that's crazy. And to think that I traveled all the way up here from Flint, Michigan to go to my cottage to fish. Sir, once again, that is not allowed on the new governor's guidelines either. We just want you to stay home, sir. Well, Dad, we could just go to our local Walmart, grab some seeds, and we can plant them at home. That's a great idea, son. Wait, sir, you can't do that either. What are you going to tell me next? That my son can't jet ski on his own with no one around him? No, you can't. Well, I guess it's time to just stay in our house till July. Son, grab the oars. Okay, have a great day. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kyle Docker with the Dockery Docket. We are here with our very 23rd episode, and I am excited to be here, and I hope that you are excited to be here as well. And if you are excited to be here, make sure to do what good listeners do, which means to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe leave a comment if you want to. Very, very big news this week. We have finally reached 50 subscribers, and we are actually now at 54 subscribers. So our next goal will be 60, and hopefully we can reach that very, very quickly. And I'm just very, very happy about that because I know that this whole coronavirus stuff can be really bothersome to some people, and especially to me. So I just want to thank you for subscribing and listening and liking, because it really does mean a lot to me. So now we are going to dive into this absolute crazy week, and it has been especially crazy in my home state of Michigan. And I know I said last week that I wouldn't want to touch this with a 69.5-foot pole because all of it is just absolutely crazy, but I feel like we need to touch on it because it is absolutely crazy. And, you know, sometimes you have to run towards the craziness. And there's this war going on right now in the state of Michigan and in other states, but we'll talk about that later, of one side being like, we need to open up the economy right now so then we can get our jobs back. And there's other people who are saying, no, we need to stay locked in to make sure that the virus is going away. And so these people are fighting, and they're battling it out. And so I believe that there are always two sides to every story. And I really want to try and dissect the situation that is happening in Michigan. So I want to dissect both sides. The side that says we need to open up right away and we need to make our economy start moving again. And also to the people who are saying we need to make sure that we are still locked up so then the disease doesn't spread. Both sides have good arguments. Both sides have bad arguments. And so for this, we are going to be talking about Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Calm your booze, please. Calm your booze. Because there are good things that she has done. I know that might be shocking for you to hear. Listen, I didn't vote for her either. So if you're listening to this and you didn't vote for Gretchen Whitmer and you're mad at her, just hear me out because there are two sides to every story. And once again, I'm going to talk about what she has done wrong because she has done some stuff wrong. But first, we're going to talk about the good things that have come out of the Whitmer administration. So, at the very beginning, at the very early onset of the virus, Michigan has been having some troubles as they ranked third highest in cases next to California, New York. And this led to Michigan being on lockdown, which that means that essential businesses are closed, the economy is sort of closed, and this is supposed to stop the spread of the virus. And this has actually worked because Michigan has moved from being third in the country in cases to being fourth, to being fifth. And I believe finally we are at 6, which is very, very good. So this lockdown order has an expiration date. So whenever a governor brings out a lockdown order, it's supposed to end at a certain time. So it'll be like, okay, we're going to say 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, if everything's still bad, we'll add another 2 weeks. But it was going to expire, and so it needed to be renewed. But with this new update, she updated the lockdown restrictions. So these new restrictions included no gatherings of any people who are not a part of a single household, no travel to in-state vacation or second homes. Large stores can only have 4 customers for every 1,000 square feet of customer floor space, and they must close all areas dedicated to carpeting, flooring, furniture, garden center, plants, nurseries, or paint. And also no motor boat or jet ski use. This has led the governor to be in some hot water, as many people believe that their rights are being infringed upon. And as Americans, we're not used to these kinds of limitations. We're used to going to Walmart and buying seeds or buying carpet or flooring. We're used to going out and going on our motorboat and, zipping around, or even going to our second home. But a lot of people are saying that these are overreaches by the governor, and I couldn't agree more with that statement. And along with this, the one that seems very interesting is the idea that you can't travel to your second home. As in Michigan, we have lots of people who have houses up north, and I believe, personally, that it is wrong because they have a right to go to their own property. But then, also, there's a fact that you could be spreading germs by going up north, and that's where it gets confusing, because it's like, is this idea a good idea? Is this idea a bad idea? Along with this, I don't understand how a motorboat or a jet ski can help prevent the spread of the virus. And it is interesting because you can use a kayak, but you can't use a motorized boat. Which, a kayak is only 1 to 2 people, and a motorboat you can have more than 2 people. But if you're going on a boat with your family, I don't think that would be any problem at all. So this has caused absolute chaos in Michigan, as many people, once again, are saying that their rights are being infringed upon. And I believe that if Whitmer would have just said, okay, we're continuing the lockdown till April 30th, no new restrictions, and left it at that, then I don't think that she'd be getting so much hate that she is right now. And this led to many protests, or a large protest, happening on Wednesday called Operation Gridlock in Lansing, Michigan, where thousands of Michigan residents drove down to the Capitol in Lansing and parked their cars in the road and honked their horns. This is a good thing, as they were socially distancing themselves, and the people also understand what their freedoms are, and I think that is important as Americans. We need to understand that if this were a time of peace, if this was a time where the virus wasn't real, and the governor was saying, okay, you can't buy seeds, okay, you can't buy plants, okay, you can't go to your second home in Michigan, then we could say, oh yes, we can't do this because our rights are being infringed. And we, as Americans, have a right to say to the government that we don't like the overreach. And it is important to realize that while the government is trying to keep us safe, they still have to understand that our rights are important. And this can be very important too in a future time where a governor tries to take away your right to bear arms. You can go back to the situation and say, okay, we have to remember this. We also need to remember that the First Amendment still applies even during a pandemic. However, this protest was not perfect, and there were things that need to be called out. So for a very long time, I have personally hated the idea of having a protest where people are blocking streets. I think it is absolutely stupid. We have seen groups like Black Lives Matter where they're standing on a highway blocking people from getting to work, and it makes the group look bad. If there was an emergency in Lansing, guess what? The ambulance can't get down the road, and the situation can't be handled. So to fix this, many people started getting out of their cars and walking. This was not a great idea, as the virus could have spread throughout the group, and along with this, people were waving Confederate flags. Are you kidding me? We aren't even close to the South. This is absolutely stupid. Why are you waving the Confederate flag? And it honestly makes Michigan look bad in the long run. Because, the Confederate flag has a lot of negative meaning to it. and we don't want to be associated with negative meaning. So all in all, I think that both sides of this argument have some good ideas and also some bad ideas, and I think that it is always good to look at both sides of an argument and look at all the facts. You can say that Whitmer overreached, but you can also say that she is trying to protect us. You can say that people have a right to protest, but the idea of protesting during a pandemic and going out and waving flags that are Confederate flags and not wearing a mask, that's not a very good idea, and it's not a very smart thing. So in the end, I truly believe that people are just sick and tired of being locked in their homes. We can see this from many states, including Michigan, North Carolina, Ohio, Minnesota, Idaho, Wyoming, Tennessee, and Florida. Multiple other states are trying very, very hard to reopen their states, or at least try to bring these restrictions down just a little bit so then they can go outside, so people can live their lives. People are out of work. People are tired of being locked up, and they actually want to go to work and be productive again. People don't know who else to blame, so they blame the local government. And this is why a lot of governors are getting hate right now. Now, is it justified? I mean, it's hard to say, because if a governor is trying to overreach their power, then yes, they should be called out for it. But we also have to remember that they're trying to at least keep us safe in some sense. So it can be justified and it can not be justified. What can't be justified is, once again, going out and protesting while not wearing a mask and being dumb. And that's the thing with this all, is that both sides are being dumb. Both sides are doing dumb things, especially in Michigan. So I believe that this is a problem with our society as a whole. And I think that with this lockdown, it has started to grow. I believe that Americans have too much information, and this is causing them to be stressed out. You turn on the news, and you see that 1,000 people have died. You start watching either your governor or the president's press conferences, and you think there's absolutely no hope at all. Then you go on social media, hoping to escape all this. But all you see are people fighting about if we should open up, if we should stay closed. The governor is so stupid. The president is so stupid. Look at how many people have died today. And finally, you've just had enough. Some people decide to take their anger out on the government officials, and others take it out on their family and friends. And we can see this getting worse with the information age, as there are so many different sources of news that you can find articles talking about how the world is flat. People in the higher ups of government understand that people are getting restless, and this is where the next step in the plan comes in. So Donald Trump has an idea, because he knows this. He understands that people are getting restless. He understands that there are people protesting in different states. So he has this grand scheme to open up America again. And it is called Opening Up America Again. And I do expect that will be on a hat once this is all done and over with, because that's just how Trump is. So Trump has said that there are many states that are ready to move forward and to open up. And he has made it clear that not every state is ready. And he has left the power to open up the states to the governors of the state. So states like Texas, Minnesota, Vermont, and Ohio on Friday announced dates to ease restrictions. Along with that, Florida has opened up its beaches for some of the people. Along with this, states like Idaho and Wyoming are planning to open up as soon as possible because their cases are extremely low. Wyoming has only had 1 or 2 deaths and only had a handful of cases, so they could open up much quicker than, say, New York. And it is important that Trump release these guidelines of how we as a country can reopen, because Trump knows that the economy cannot last this long. And as we talked about above, the people in our country cannot handle another 3 months of this. The people of America cannot handle another 3 months, and I don't believe they can handle another 18 months. Some of us, including me, can't even handle another day of this stuff. So this new grand reopening of American guidelines come in different steps, and these steps are important because it is not like just flipping on a light switch. We can't go from straight on to straight off, because as we know, the virus is still out there. These phases will begin whenever the governor decides to start. It'll start with the first phase of the process. The first phase is kind of like where we are right now, as all vulnerable people should stay in place. Senior centers will remain closed. They want to encourage only going out when needed, and when you are out and about, you should be social distancing yourself. Schools will remain closed, but some businesses will start to slowly open up again. Now, this phase will go on for 2 weeks, and if we see a spike in the case, then we will step back and restart. And that's how it is with every single one of these phases. Phase 2 gets a little better as non-essential travel can resume, which that means that we can finally go to different places without being worried about someone pulling us over, and this is a hooray moment for us. And if you go to different places, then social distancing should be practiced. And along with that, in this stage, schools can start opening up, and we can start to see that our lives are starting to go back to normal a little bit. And bars can reopen up as long as they're social distancing, which I think a lot of people will be excited about. Definitely think a lot of people will be excited about that. So once again, this will be done for 2 weeks, and if we see a spike in cases, then we move back to phase 1, and then we restart all over again. Now, phase 3 is where we all go back to normal, where all jobs will be opened, helping the economy grow stronger. Restaurants can start opening up, but there still needs to be some more social distancing. But at this point, the virus should be gone, or close to gone, or we'll have better medicine to make sure that people aren't getting sick all the time. And if you do get sick with the virus, then you can get healed quicker. And I think that in phase 3, and for a very long time, we will continue to be practicing this social distancing, and I think that that's going to be a very normal thing once this virus is over. I think it's going to be a long time till we'll be able to shake hands again, just because we're going to be so fearful of touching people, because we'll be so scared of the virus coming into us once again and causing another lockdown to happen. Because listen, if this virus comes back again, I won't do this lockdown again, because it has been absolutely crazy. So there is still hope out there, dear viewer, for everyone, as hopefully this plan will work and we will be able to have a society with a great economy, not just for the president, but for the whole country. It doesn't matter who the president is, doesn't matter who the governor is, as long as we're open and have a great economy, I feel like we as the people will be happy again. So we are also starting to see new possible drugs, like remdesivir. I believe that's what it's called, but it's a long name, and I'll probably put a picture of it. But anyway, that are being tested that can help relieve the symptoms of the virus and help people recover faster. We are also testing more people to see if they have had the disease before and are now immune to it. And we can use their blood to cure a person that is sick because they have different antibodies in their blood. So then they can give their blood to a sick patient, and then those antibodies go into the sick patient and heal them, which is absolutely crazy how medicine works like that. So while we are just sitting here waiting, there are people out there who are working hard to find a cure, and we thank them for that. And that's what we really need to remember in all of this fighting of if we should reopen, if we should stay closed. Did the governor do the wrong thing? Did the people who are protesting do the wrong thing? What we need to remember is that there are people right now fighting to save lives. And I feel like we just need to really put our arms around those people who are fighting for their lives for it and thank them for their service, because they are the heroes. They are the heroes. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, if you hate Governor Whitmer, if you love Governor Whitmer, if you hate Trump, or if you love Trump. What we need to remember is that there are people out there who are dying and who are trying to find cures for us. And once again, while they're working to find a cure, we're sitting on our butts. And we should be very, very thankful for them. And along with this, I want to thank you for listening to the Dockery Docket, for liking, subscribing, and sharing my content on social media. It truly means so much to me. So make sure you stay in touch by following me on Twitter and Instagram. And until next week, on Tuesday at noonish, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving. Goodbye.